Good. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our November Hilltop Learning Series event. And we are so glad to have you here tonight for Shelby's session. I hope you all came hungry and excited to learn about a new cool way to make peach cobbler. We have just a few housekeeping things we're going to go through before Shelby gets started. So I'm going to go to the next slide. Just some Zoom tips. Please keep yourself on mute unless you have a question. You can unmute and ask, but that will just cut down on background noise for us. And you can also use the chat feature if you feel better submitting a written question instead of talking out loud. You can totally go both of those ways. We recommend speaker view once Shelby gets started with her demonstration. That way her screen shows up really big and everyone else's small tiles. And there's steps on the slide on how to do that on your own to set that up. You can also stay gallery if you would like. A little bit about Shelby. Shelby got her degree in 2009 from St. Edward's, a degree in entrepreneurship, and then she did a master's in management at Liberty University. Her chef career started in 2011, and she also has a fitness nutrition specialist certification through the National Academy of Sports Medicine. She's my favorite go-to chef, and I think you're gonna love her. So this is the ingredients list for all of what we're going to be making tonight, and you can either try to cook along with Shelby or you can just kind of take notes and try it on your own later. And we will have time for question and answer as we're going through. So if you have questions, just hold on, speak up and ask those. We're happy to take them. So thank you for coming. And I am going to ask Shelby, are you ready or you need another minute? One more minute. Okay, Shelby's finishing up her prep. And as y'all can probably see, there are two Shelby Henderson accounts. So she has one logged in that's going to show her prep station and then one that's going to show her cooking station. So be prepared for, we're so savvy now with the Zoom as we get late into COVID and we've all become masters. But we're gonna have fun in just a second. All right. You ready for it, Shelby? Hey.
Okay.
There you are. We have both Shelbys now.
Hello, everyone. Baking is really not like my thing, but I love it so much. The end result, I say that, but it can get so messy.
Uh-oh. While Shelby's getting cameras set up, I did want to let you guys know about some of our upcoming events in December. We have Alon Cabrera, who's on the call right now, is going to be hosting a Topper Trivia Night on December 9th. He's going to be our quiz master extraordinaire. And Denise has been busy planning a Hilltopper holiday mingle on Saturday, December 12th for Saturday morning. So that'll be a really fun event too to kick off the holiday season. And also be on the lookout for some information coming from the Hilltop about Giving Tuesday. We are participating in the National Day of Philanthropy on the Tuesday after Thanksgiving. So probably some of your favorite organizations will be doing different fundraising campaigns that day, and we will too. And we hope to see you on the social medias making gifts and talking about St. Edward's. You good, Shelby?
Yes, I hear echoes, so I'm trying to turn one of them off.
We do have one off and one on.
Maybe it's just me.
There, that sounds better. That sounds good.
Awesome. Okay. So good evening, everyone. Sorry about this. This is so a busy time for me. So everything has been pretty busy, I should say. But I'm so glad that everyone decided to join me again. We had such a good time last time, and I am so grateful and thankful to be able to be invited back again. Tonight, as Ms. Claire has stated, we will be making peach cobbler. Peach cobbler is a Southern staple. It is very popular within my family. I love it a lot, but I only love the crust. You know, how about that? I only love the crust. And so when it comes down to peaches, so make sure they don't fall again. When it comes down to like the peach cobblers, mostly all my family usually gets it because of the crust. You know, the crust. If you have not seen the pictures, the crust is like nice and buttery and crispy, and this particular crust is actually biscuit rather than the regular pie crust that mostly people would bake them in. So it's going to be kind of a little tedious, but at the same time, the results are very like phenomenal. Like I kid you not. To get started, I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry, y'all. This has never happened before.
It's okay. Why don't we just focus on the prep station, since most of the baking is probably going to be happening in the oven anyway. And
Yes.
if we need that second camera, we can nail it down then.
Okay, I can do that. And I can always move this.
Yeah.
So it's fine. Sorry about that.
But I think you're dead on. The crust is always the most important part. The juiciness of the peaches with the flakiness of the crust is what makes cobbler magic. And I'm here for the magic, Shelby.
So with the ingredients list, I did state that it was fresh peaches.
Mhm.
Today, for this demo, you will not see fresh peaches. Fresh peaches around this time is very hard to find. It's usually around, well, this is kind of like an off season for them now, because they usually are in season around the summertime, but that's when they're in peak. But usually around the holiday season and things like that, that you will see some spurts here and there of the sales, because that's one of the popular desserts for the holidays. And so you will not see that here, but just know that this can be done with fresh peaches as stated, and then also you can use fresh peaches, you can use canned peaches. You can also use frozen peaches, and that's what I'm actually going to do this evening. And you will see here, this is approximately a little bit over the 10 cups, but use like 10 cups is perfect. Okay, and we also have brown sugar, either 1 cup of brown sugar or 1 cup or this is light brown sugar, or also 1 cup of white sugar, or you half and half if you want to experiment. It does not matter. Some people I know would use like honey and things like that as their sweetener. Personally, I would not do that because it would throw the flavor off a little bit. But it's I would say this: I leave it open for those who desire to do so. If that's your flavor profile, then by all means do that. However, that is not my flavor profile. So I wouldn't do that. And this is just like I didn't even add as much as normally what people what people would add, but just know it gets the job done. If you do, for instance, need to add more, you can also do that. But yes, so we have the brown sugar here. You also have, let's see what else we have. We have vanilla extract. We also have nutmeg, cinnamon, and this one is the Sagan cinnamon, which is actually a little more, how can you say it? It's a stronger flavor of cinnamon. It's really rich. Just,
which vanilla extract do you use? I've been seeing a lot of discussions on Pinterest about which vanilla extract to be buying, and I want Shelby's seal of approval. Which one are you using?
Okay, for this demo, because I could not shop, I brought this from Aldi, but it's just like regular extract. However, I don't personally like this one. I normally use the vanilla paste. You will see it. It's like at Kroger, and it's like $10 at Kroger's, but it's probably like this big. But it's very, very like rich. Like when I say it's rich, they have also an extract version, but I always get the paste because it's vanilla bean. It's pure vanilla bean, and it's oh my! Every time I bake,
that's what I'm here for. I want the Shelby secrets. I like those little nuggets of wisdom. Also, I like when you give us advice and you're like, you could use honey. I'm not saying to do that, but you could do that. That's not what I would do, but please go ahead.
Because I don't want people, I don't want to say, hey, don't do this. But then I'm like, I wouldn't suggest it. Like, not.
Oh, Karen put something up in the chat that she saw vanilla paste at Trader Joe's. So,
I've never been to Trader Joe's ever.
Shelby, we have to go to Trader Joe's. It'll be like heaven for you.
I hear about it. I pass by it sometimes when I go to Central Market here in Dallas, but like I have never been. Like everyone keeps saying Trader Joe's, and I'm like, what is that?
So if you're using the vanilla paste instead of the vanilla extract, is it still a half a tablespoon or a half a teaspoon?
Yes.
Okay.
You can, but then also to keep in mind, because I think usually I would say it's a quarter of a teaspoon, but I love both flavors. If anyone has forgotten, I love both. A half a teaspoon, it's not going to hurt you.
Okay.
You just have to adjust the sugar. I'll say adjust the sugar, but yes, go for it. Please go for it. This is not on the list of ingredients, but this is actually I guess you can say a family secret. Well, not so much of a secret now, but it's a family thing. My godfather, my uncle actually, he uses Jamaican allspice.
Ooh.
Spice as well. You can use for this recipe. I use just like maybe like a spring, like I don't really my stuff, but just like a couple of teaspoons is fine. But yes, this is one of the bonus. It gives that the nice you have, because it's mixed with cloves and nutmeg and cinnamon too. So it just gives it a little extra little punch if you need to if you desire to do that. So we're gonna get and also you have your salt and then cornstarch, which I did not have out. Sorry.
I'm excited. I need to go pick up some more Jamaican allspice. I feel like that's something that you could throw into a lot of things to give it a little kick.
You sure can, and people don't know what they're missing at all. Okay. So what we're gonna do is I have my oven on. It's on 375, but at the same time, you can do 350, 375 if you desire to do so. What you can do is that this recipe does state that you can mix all these items together, and I'm going to go through the items again. Mix those together, and then you put it in the oven. Mm-hmm. I would like to say as well, you can also make this syrup, as you can say, or a filling. You can also make this on the stove top. The reason why I stated to put it in the oven, because sometimes people like me will forget that it's on the oven, and it will get with the cornstarch, it will get too thick, and sometimes it will burn, and you're gonna have to start over once you do that. So the oven is really the safe way, but both methods can be done.
So when you are making the syrup mixture, you're adding that into the bowl that has the peaches already in it. You don't like make the syrup and then add it to the peaches.
No, you want the syrup and the peaches together, because that especially with the sugar, because sometimes when you go to the store, some of the peaches, especially here in Texas, it is very hard to find really good peaches, and they're not as ripe as you want to have them. So the sugar, just like you were to do with strawberries, the sugar will actually bring out some of that flavor. And that's another reason why I would suggest to put them in the oven rather than cook them on the stovetop, so that it can slowly bring out those hidden flavors that's in the peaches that's happen not completely ripe.
Yeah, I can't wait till next summer, because in Fredericksburg, right outside of Austin, they do a big peach harvest in the summertime, and you can get all sorts of jams and preserves, but you can also just get really good fresh peaches. And I feel like this recipe would be fantastic then.
Yes, and there's a place for with vendors. They call it, I believe, it's the Texas Peach Truck or something like that. But they come through, and they're always bringing loaded up cases of Texas peaches. I lucked out this summer. I say when they did have it, but hopefully next time I'll be able to get on that.
Stock up on some peaches.
Yes, I usually will go to the farmer's market or something like that.
Now wait, is that lemon?
Lemon juice.
Yes, the lemon juice. I love it. I love it. Okay.
And you can use fresh lemon too, but I'm not gonna be all that fancy today. And you just mix it all in. This I made a second batch of this, so I'm kind of out of the cornstarch, but it's okay though, because I'm adding more sugar to this, which will kind of thicken it up just a little bit. And I'm
Shelby, can I ask a question? My daughter and I are cooking along, so should we just dump all of this stuff from the top half of the recipe into the bowl and start mixing it together?
That is correct. Yes.
Perfect. Okay, thank you.
I'm so glad someone's joining in. Oh, this is so exciting. Now I really to make sure I'm doing it right. No.
Lindsay, you got to tell us how it turns out.
Please do. This is so.
We will for sure.
So is that sugar or flour?
This is actually regular sugar, and that's because I don't have any more of the cornstarch because I use it for my batch. And so I'm adding extra sugar so that it will thicken up just a little bit more.
Okay.
Just a little bit. But I'm going to show you all what it's going to look like. Ooh, this is cold.
Ooh, okay. So Karen asked a good question. She said, Shelby, do you prefer cornstarch or flour as a thickener?
It depends. I never put flour in baked goods like this, especially not peach cobbler. I never tried it, so I can't really knock it. I've always used cornstarch because it's just I'm familiar with it. I know it will thicken up kind of a little bit faster.
Mm-hmm.
I would say with the flour though, you have to make sure that it's like cooked off like completely because I mean the taste. I'm just kind of skeptical about the whole tasting thing, but I'm sure it will still work. Again, I never tried it personally.
This is one of those things where Shelby says, yeah, you could do that, but I wouldn't recommend it.
I'm not a professional. Look, I'm a chef, but I'm not a pastry chef. I do this as my side gig, as people say.
Gabby asked a good question. She said, when you find fresh peaches, do you have any tips for the best ways to freeze them so they hold their flavor?
You're gonna slice them.
Go ahead and slice them.
Go ahead and slice them, and you're gonna if you have a vacuum seal, I call it a cryo vac machine because I actually do have one, but I believe they have the vacuum seal, the vacuum sealers.
Yes.
That's the best way, in my opinion, to secure your peaches, and then you're gonna freeze them.
Okay.
Just like that. Some people actually use the freezer bags. If you have to make sure, I would say make sure that the air is completely out of it. Get a bucket of water or some kind of water to where you can actually when you add the peaches inside, drop it in that water and make sure all of the air is like sucked out of it, and then close it. Yeah. But you want to make sure that it's secure and sealed completely with no air, because once you take it out, you know, when you take usually like fruits out, the water content, since peaches have a high water content, it can kind of like deteriorate a little bit, almost like tomatoes. It can really like be all mushy, and you don't want that. But in this case, if you wanted to make peach cobbler, to me it wouldn't be a problem. But then again, I'm not a pastry chef, so.
Okay, all right. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. So you got all of your ingredients mixed in with your sliced peaches, and you're going to put them in the oven at 375.
Yes, you can do 350 or 375, and I'm actually going to show you what it looks like because I just took the other one out.
How long do you put them in for?
10 minutes. 10 to 15
minutes.
But usually like 10 minutes is perfect.
Okay. I want to see yours though, because I want to know what mine is supposed to look like. And I use supposed to because the likelihood that mine are going to look like yours do is not high. I need Shelby to come help me with my knife skills.
I need to start doing that. Okay, we're gonna pray that this thing. I don't know why my like I never had issues with this before, and it just seems like stuff just keeps happening. But if I put this in a pan, it's gonna look just like this. Uh-oh.
Oh my gosh, that looks delicious. Is that a cast iron skillet you got it in?
It sure is.
You're a woman after my own heart, Shelby.
And I didn't put as much cornstarch in here. And this is because I have, and I want to show you all this too. If you were to be like with me, I use frozen peaches. And you know, with the frozen peaches, their water is going to come out. And I did this on purpose so you can see it. But usually, you see how like kind of loose that is?
Yes.
I keep dropping this, but yeah, you see kind of how loose that is. You honestly don't want that. And if you do have that, add some more cornstarch. In this case, I'm actually going to try this whole flour thing because we're going to test this out. I'm pretty sure it's fine, but
yeah, because you want it to be less liquid and more like a little more congealed than that, right? You want it to be more syrupy than liquidy.
Before you use your frozen peaches, you can. There's two ways you can make the syrup on your stove top, and then just basically just add the frozen peaches with the sugar alone, and then let it like kind of combine itself together. Or you can defrost the peaches and then add them to there.
Perfect.
Okay. So I'm gonna add this back into the oven really fast. But either way, that's going to get eaten up in a few minutes. So
okay. Now, so while that's going, when do you start working on your crust versus the peaches?
This is where we're doing this. So once you put the your peach filling, and as soon as you do that, you go ahead and work on your topping, your crust topping. Again, in this case, it is going to be biscuit. Some people use the regular pie crust. I decided to use biscuits because I simply love biscuits. I love them.
I feel like as a Southerner, you should never pass up an opportunity to use a biscuit in a recipe or eat a biscuit or look at a biscuit or hang out with a biscuit, because that's your job as a Southerner.
That's true. But with me, I have to stay away from them because if they're nice and buttery and I love flaky biscuits. I don't do the whole.
You're not a dense biscuit girl. You're a flaky biscuit girl.
No, okay. I will, and it has to be like super buttery.
I'm an equal opportunity biscuit lover. I will take any biscuit of any kind, preferably with sawmill gravy. Thank you.
Okay, so I have 2 cups of AP flour inside. Okay. I also have the 1 cup of granulated sugar. In this case, you can also use brown sugar if you would like to do that. It's your choice. I just have the regular white sugar in here. There's also a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda and a 1/2 teaspoon, of baking powder. Now with that, again, I love biscuits, so my biscuit is going to be just a little bit higher. So I actually added 1 teaspoon as well. And it, like I said, it's everyone's personal choice if you want them high. But I like, if you see the picture that Claire did share, they're pretty high. Now sometimes they can be a little bit too high, but I love heights. So that's with that.
Great. I do have a question for you though, because you're breaking my grandmother's rule. She says you never use unsalted butter in a biscuit.
Why?
You got it, salted butter. That I just think my grandmother has a very high salt content threshold for what she's cooking. But would salted butter make it worse, or would you think is that really important, or what do you think?
It is important for 2 reasons. If you were to use salted butter, you would not need to add any more salt. So so I use unsalted butter because I'm going to add salt later on. But if you were to use salted butter, don't even just get the salt out of your mind, because that's what happened to me. I actually used salted butter on accident, and then it so happened it was too salty, and I use kosher salt too, so which makes it twice as much salty, and you don't want that. So I'm sorry, Granny, but
that's okay. Y'all heard it here first. Shelby said, you can do that if you want, Claire, but I don't recommend it. That's what she said.
I don't at all. So I'm using a unsalted butter, and it has to be cold. I don't honestly, like I said, it's because the reason behind this is that you want the flakiness of the biscuit. And when you see it come out, it's going to be like kind of crispy on the outside, and then like kind of soft on the inside. Personally, I do not care. I just want them to be nice. So if you were to use like room temperature butter, just know that the flakiness probably will not be there. But then again, it's still gonna be delicious.
Oh, I didn't know that. So the temperature of the butter contributes to the flaky factor.
That's right. And then the outside, like you would notice, like I want to post. Well, I made some biscuits not too long ago, sweet potato biscuits, and they when I made those biscuits, I actually used unsalted. I'm sorry, room temperature unsalted butter. And what happened is that you will see it was like nothing but like clouds, a cloud of good. But that's how I like it, because I don't want when I'm picturing a biscuit, I'm picturing something that's like to the tooth. Like it literally has to be. I want them crunchy. Like my pancake, people like egg. The edge is crispy. I don't want that. I want nice fluffy jumbo buttermilk pancakes, and it has to be like fluffy.
Okay.
That's the same way I just like the bread. I don't know what it is, but I just love it. I love it.
Girl, we love bread. Carbs are good. That's what we're here for. So,
Yes.
all right. So you're putting in the butter now.
I am, and you're gonna need just 1 cup.
Okay.
Which is like 2 sticks.
How now? You say on the recipe list cold and cubed. How big are the cubes you're using?
I just maybe like how many inches is it? It's like 2 inches.
Okay. So I don't have to get like tiny with the prep.
Oh,
okay.
so you can be working forever if you do that.
I know that's my mise en place takes way too long. It does not go quickly in my house.
And then I'm also going to give you all a tip too. And this is from my father, because he told me that my grandmother, his mother, actually used this.
That's because every recipe from anyone from the South can be substituted with Bisquick. You can find a way to work Bisquick into that.
Yeah. So that's what I'm doing for my second batch, but I wanted to show you that works as well.
So if you use Bisquick, I know that takes out, you don't need your flour, but what else does it take out? Baking powder and baking soda?
You really don't need this whole biscuit topping recipe. Just scratch it, and then you can only add, I would say, everything but sugar. Like you don't need unless you want the egg wash. With the egg wash is optional, and that's only just to coat the outside. Today I'm not going to really do that, because I haven't tried it with the biscuit, but usually it's just sugar. Like you would only need just sugar and cinnamon if you want to jazz it up. But this is literally like instant, and it takes like 8 minutes. It says like 8 minutes to do. So if you want to not do too much for Thanksgiving or any holiday, just add the biscuit.
Lindsay, we have not gotten to salt yet, I think. Or did you put salt in?
Oh, no, we did not go to salt. Sorry. Thank you. I put it in here, but I didn't tell you. So
Okay.
You have a half a teaspoon of salt in here. We were talking about these biscuits, man. Like it's.
We're sorry, Lindsay. Biscuits are distracting. There's just so many ways, nuance to biscuits. You got to talk it all through. So, okay. So butter and salt we did, and we're almost to buttermilk. Now, do you buy your buttermilk or do you make your buttermilk?
I actually buy my buttermilk. I only make it if I needed to for emergencies, but I just had it.
Okay, I love it. I buy my buttermilk too, but my grandmother yells at me. She told me I need to make it myself. Oh, Gabby wants to know if there's a substitute for buttermilk if you don't have buttermilk.
You can get some milk. Here's your substitute: milk and lemon juice. Okay.
Yeah. That's how
Uh,
you make it, Gabby.
just let it sit. It's just let it sit. Usually like do it the day before and just let it sit, and you have instantly like buttermilk.
Can't you do it with vinegar too? White vinegar and milk?
I wouldn't do that.
We should have like a dual cooking show where Claire just does whatever she wants and Shelby just laughs, is like, that's not what I would do.
All acid doesn't equal acid, and there's look, they say all acid is not created equal. That's not what I would do.
So when you're making your own, how much lemon juice do you add to like a cup of milk to make a buttermilk?
Ooh, that's math. Let's do one. If you use the concentrated, I would say I think it's 1 teaspoon. It's very little.
Yeah, I think it's like 1 or 2 teaspoons for a cup for 8 ounces of milk. But I do know that there are recipes for how to make your own quick buttermilk on Pinterest, and most of those work. Don't use the ones that tell you to use white vinegar though, because Shelby does not approve that message.
Please do not, because that is crazy.
So the egg you're waiting until later though, right?
The egg you're gonna do right before you put it inside the oven, and I'm gonna do it just for this sake. But I normally, like with Bisquick, I normally don't. Oh.
So once you have your dough mixture going on, what do we do next? Oh, it looks good.
Let's see. Oh, this is hard. See, this is why you can, if you want to, you could do this on the counter, but like I said, it gets kind of messy, and we don't want that. Not today, at least.
Shelby Henderson is a fastidious chef. She does not make messes.
I try not to. I do. I don't like it. Like I can't stand the dirty kitchen. And make like pastry is always something. So
now, when you made your batch before, do you use like a mixer or do you just do everything with your hands?
Your hands, you gotta feel it.
I know.
I was taught that from a pastry chef. You want to feel the texture of the flour against the butter, and so you're gonna see. And I'm gonna lift this up. Okay.
Okay.
You're gonna see the flakiness start to come with the warmth of your hand, and this is one of the reasons why I don't like it when it's like super ice cold, because sometimes it gets too hard. But you're gonna see, you want it to be like this.
Oh, pretty. Now,
just like Play-Doh.
Just like Play-Doh, kind of crumbly.
That is correct.
Okay. I'm digging it.
I'm going to add the buttermilk to it right now.
Okay. For you HEB shoppers, I do want to let you know that there's an HEB brand of buttermilk that comes in a 16-ounce little bottle. So it's like the perfect size to make 1 or 2 recipes. And it's like $1.89. It's fantastic.
You know, they won't bring an HEB here in Dallas.
I know. We got to work on that, Shelby. How are we going to, we got to get you an HEB.
HEB, well, there's one in Waxahachie, but I don't want to go that far to go to no HEB. And everyone is like super upset, and people, and it's not because of Dallas, it's because of HEB. They don't want to bring it. And I'm like, you can make a killing here in this DFW Metroplex.
We agree, Shelby, and we've been waiting for a while.
I'm telling you. Are you from Dallas?
Yes.
Yes, I'm in Dallas. I'm in Richardson, actually. And so moving here from Austin, you're like, where? But they're only in like the northern or not really south area. So it's that.
Yes.
One
and
day.
I was in Austin. No, I was in San Antonio. I was cooking in August to cook for the soldiers. And when I saw the HEB, I went inside, and it brought back so many memories when I was in St. Edwards. Because I remember going to the one on Congress, And every time I would go in there, I used to pull out those little tickets or the little coupons. And I was like, we're just gonna just use these. So when I was in San Antonio, I saw them. I was like, oh, this is brings back so much memory. I said, we need to have an HEB in Dallas, man. This is terrible. Okay.
So about how long does it take you to get the dough kind of the consistency you want generally?
10 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. That's and I'm not really anal about this because at the end of the day, it's going to be baked.
It's going to be baked. Okay, so that's your buttermilk right there?
It is.
Yes.
And there's sugar already in here.
Mm-hmm.
And you just, now this you can actually do with like a, I don't know, like a scraper or something. I'm just being messy as usual. But you want it, it's not going to be like a solid like dough. It's going to be kind of lumpy.
Kind of like a drop biscuit?
Yes. And I'm going to show you in a few seconds.
Yeah, I want to see how you like lay it out on the pan and get it ready for the baking process.
Yes. So
I'm one of those people that I try to fit way too many cookies on the cookie sheet. And my husband's like, that's not enough space for all those cookies. And I'm like, you don't know.
and with this one, you probably will need to for this recipe, you can divide it into two. It just depends on how much you want to eat, or your family. Oh my God, the family to eat. I don't like my hands are like super dirty. Ugh.
The dirtier you are, that means the better it'll taste.
That's what they say. I always look at chef when they have these dirty aprons, and I'm just like, you didn't do no, like, well, the ones that are clean. I'm like, you didn't do no work. Like, you didn't do at all. But you get the ones with like the dirty chef coats and the aprons, and you be all set.
Yes. So what kind of pan do you use to cook your biscuits? Is it just a cookie sheet, or what you doing?
A regular bit. Okay, this is how we're going to do this. With regular biscuits, I do use a cookie sheet. But in this case, you can either use not a cast iron, but if you have two cast irons, you can do that too. But I'm going to I have a glass casserole pan, something like that.
Oh, okay.
That I'm going to use.
I'm hard pressed to find a time when a cast iron skillet is not appropriate. You can use it for everything, from cooking to home defense.
Yes. And you want to spray the inside. This is a 9-inch.
Okay.
Or what does it say? Yeah, 9-inch. And I'm gonna spray it with Baker's Joy, which has an inside. Some people, they try to do the olive oil spray and all that stuff. I wouldn't do that. Because it's not gonna really like, it's gonna make your filling like kind of oily, and you do not want that.
No, that would disrupt our flavor or flaky factor.
Yeah.
So you're saying the Baker's Joy works better than like Pam or one of those other spray degreasers?
I use Baker's Joy for any of my baking, like any baking, cakes, cookies, all that stuff.
Awesome.
This is the mix that I had earlier.
Okay. And now this is the mix after it's already been in the oven once. You're going to put it into the casserole dish now. That's
correct. So I'll say that when you have after you mix your filling, that pan that you're going to put it in it needs to be the same exact pan that you're going to bake it through. So in this case, I should have placed this already inside of my pan, but I didn't because I wanted you all to see
The process.
the
You want
process.
to see the process.
But at the same time, let's say if I were at your house and I would say, hey, make me peach cobbler, you will actually have this pan, stick it in the oven, and work on your biscuit mix while it's in the oven. And then once you about 10 to 12 minutes, you take it out. It's nice and warm. It's nice and gooey and all that stuff. So now you're gonna add your biscuit mix.
Ah, okay.
And see, it's kind of like, oh, this feels better. It's kind of, but you see, it's kind of like Claire said, like a drop biscuit.
Yeah.
And all you do is just drop it. And you can space it out, like it's like ice cream. You can like space it out if you want, because in
so
the
you
end,
just do like little dollops across the pan, kind of spread it around.
and because at the end it's gonna come together.
I love it. I love it.
So I'm gonna do that really
This
fast.
is the part that I let my kids help with.
It's a good project for children. Like it's, you know, kids like to get messy, so this is like the perfect project for them. And then I'm just going to drop all this in here because, again, we like crust around here. And there's no proper wrong way to do it. Just
okay.
You don't have to be fancy. All right. So once you get that in, this is where we add. You can add the egg wash, which is just 1 egg. Sorry, I have to grab my egg because it needs to be cold.
So 1 fresh egg out of the fridge, and you just open it up and kind of scramble it a little bit and then brush it on the top.
That is correct.
If you're probably, I think I know the answer to this because it's been the answer to every question I've asked. If you didn't want to use an egg, if you wanted to use an egg substitute, would that work?
Yes.
Which substitute would you recommend?
This an egg substitute. I don't like a particular brand. Or
I guess, yeah. Is there an egg substitute brand that you prefer, like egg beaters or whatever?
Not really. You can also use butter too. Melted butter.
Oh,
You can
yes.
too.
Okay.
So if that's what this, and this is just like water, and you just mix it.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you would scramble eggs.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a pastry brush, and you're going to
do my top secret thing is I can never find my pastry brush when I need it, so I just use my fingers
or your spoon.
or a spoon.
It's not gonna hurt. And like I said, this can be totally omitted if you want. You don't have to really do this. Or if you want, you can just add butter, and that's perfectly fine. Also too, you can add sugar, a cinnamon sugar on top.
Just a little bit.
Or a lot.
So your oven is still at 375 or 350, and you're going to put this in back at 375 or 350?
That is correct. So the oven never goes up, it never goes down unless you're in a rush, and that's okay. But yes, it stays the same.
Don't rush the magic. Don't rush the magic. So how long do you put it in for?
This is for 40 minutes. Usually
40?
I'm sorry?
You said 40?
40, yes.
40, okay.
Yes. When I'm going to.
We can see you.
Oh, I'm saying, as long as it's being good. And you just place it in the oven. I'm going to show you all something. With this biscuit, I'm about to show you what I'm about to do. And this is another thing you can do. You see how how high the biscuit is? Can y'all see that?
Uh-huh.
It's not quite as brown. And then also too, my mixture, because I did not, well, I added the cornstarch to it. So it's kind of like thick. It's really thick and it's hot. But with the if you want to use the biscuit,
Mm-hmm.
I have some room temperature butter here.
Mm-hmm.
And all you have to do is just glaze the top.
Oh.
You just glaze the top of it and then let it brown up. Because right now it's literally like done, but I want to have a little bit more
Okay.
brown into it. You can do it if you are comfortable with using the broil, set it on your oven. You can do that too to brown it up. Like I said, if you're in a rush or something like that, you can do that.
Mhm.
Otherwise, just put it back in the oven for maybe like another like 10 minutes.
Okay.
Just so it can get nice and golden brown, and it will come out perfect. Perfect color, perfect everything.
Shelby, that is amazing. I love it.
Ooh. And that's pretty much it. Like you can, once you take it out after the 40 minutes, once you take it out, let it cool off.
Okay.
And serve it with ice cream. I also have a finishing sugar if you want to. Let's say, for instance, like with your either with the biscuit, if you want to use that, or also if you want it, or if you want to make your own biscuit topping. Here's it's called cane sugar. It's turbo cane sugar. This is a Kroger brand. But it's a really good finishing sugar. Use it for any pastries or cookies or whatever like that. It looks like this. So, like for instance, I just buttered those biscuits with the biscuit. Now, while it's good and hot, I can easily just add this cane sugar.
Oh, cool! It's very granular.
Yes, and you just sprinkle it on top. Again, if you want to add a little bit more cinnamon to it, do that as well. But it gives you another crunch. I'll say this. I do this for cookies. I do this for pastries. And pretty much anything except for like I don't do it for like cakes usually, but usually more like the breads and the cobblers or something like that. Something with biscuits if you want to do biscuits. Strawberry shortcake is another one. It's just a finishing sugar, and it's really good.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking us through your process and sharing your recipe with us. Lindsay, how's it going in your kitchen? Lindsay, you're muted.
Sorry, that was my daughter Betty, and she was not ecstatic, as you could tell. I took our camera on, but we've got it in. We have the timer on, and we're so excited, Shelby, for doing this. Thank you. And we can't wait to eat it. So thank you.
And I don't know if you all are I am on social media, Facebook and also Instagram. Facebook, you can, I believe, it's Chef Shelby Henderson is my business page. You just find me as Shelby Henderson, and also on Instagram it's I am Shelbs.
I am Shelbs. That's right. That's right. Here, I'll do it.
Shelbs is the username. And whenever you make these just tag me into it. I would love to see them.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much, Shelby, for sharing your recipe and all your family secrets with us. It was so much fun. And thank you to everybody who attended tonight. Again, just a reminder about our December events that are coming up. We've got trivia on December 9th, Hilltop or Holiday Mingle on the 12th. And we cannot wait to see all of you there. And thank you again, and happy cooking. Have a good night.
Thank you all. Good night.
Why don't you